Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Activity Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest host, Andy Riddle.
Well, hello, Alliance Nation. Welcome back to the Activity Call. So we are going to give you some highlights today and do some things with this Relentless 52 and how it's changing the Alliance and taking it by storm. And I hope you got your 5 from last week. Like on Wednesday, we said we had to get 5. Andy put another challenge out this weekend, so I'll talk about that in a minute. But real quick, some housekeeping notes. There is a few contests going on that you can still win leading up to National Convention in a couple weeks. The one goes through the 15th is to join us at the Integrity Club. All the leaderboards are listed on the ARC. So if you want to see where you're at and see how close you are, and if you want to pass some of the people in front of you, be relentless and pass by them in the last few days that you have available for it, you can win an invite to the Integrity Club on Thursday night prior to conference. Just to let you know, the Integrity Club is one of the coolest places I've ever been in my life. I will be there for sure. I will make sure I'm there. So if you are if you're not currently winning, I would figure out how to win it really quick. Most of them are app counts with different products and different carriers. So check that out. Make sure you get there. Help your guys win that contest. I'm okay if just the Riddle team wins every contest. It's okay with me. But I would recommend you try to compete with us. Right, Josh? Is that appropriate or no? I don't know, but but yes. But you get an invite to the Integrity Club, get to meet Brian Adams, all the Integrity people. But ultimately, that club is one of the coolest places I've ever been. So I would definitely try to win one of those. Leading up to conference, some things that we have. Friday is going to be Western wear. So get your cowboy hat, bring your Western wear. It is themed for that. There is a mechanical bowl for you adventurous people that want to see who can stay on the bowl. I think they say you have to stay on for 8 seconds, but every time I've ever seen a mechanical bowl, they go longer than that if you're able to stay on. But it'll be fun, even if you don't want to get on a mechanical bowl, to watch people go flying off of it. That's always a cool thing to watch too, but there will be one of those Friday night. Saturday, our keynote speaker is Brian Adams, Integrity CEO, will be at our conference. So make sure you're there to see Brian Adams on Saturday as well. Then Saturday night we have our award show that will be giving out all the awards for the people that did great in 2025 with the Alliance. That is formal wear, so make sure you dress nice, wear your Sunday clothes or whatever you want to call it, but make sure it is formal. So make sure you dress up properly and nicely. And then concluding the award ceremony, we are having a concert by Coffee Anderson. We'll be there to have a live concert there at our conference. Sunday, Coffee will lead worship music as well. Coffee Anderson will be doing the worship music on Sunday morning, and Marcus Richardson will lead our service on Sunday, the optional service. So if you would like to attend, we would love to have you there for the Sunday service. So just some highlights that's coming up this month with the club contest and also with the expectations of what to wear and kind of highlights of things that will be happening in our national convention in Dallas, Texas. Hope you're there. If you're not there, I would definitely get signed up. And if you don't even know what the heck I'm talking about, smack your growing up line in the back of the head and say, why don't I know about this? And then figure out what it is, and we'll see you in Dallas. So just get there. But yeah, so it is, it's our national convention. We do it once a year. It's so much fun. Dallas, Texas. So make sure you get there. All right, guys. Well, I got some of my buddies on again today to talk about the Relentless 52 and kind of what it does and the activities it does. And just to give you a little background with me, with what it's been for me, I remember when I first got in this business, I was like one of those guys that was like shy, didn't like to talk to people, didn't like to have conversations, didn't like to do any of that stuff. And I remember Andy giving me a challenge, gosh, this would have been almost 19 years ago, and just telling me that I had to start learning to conversate with people and have conversations with them. And it's cool because me and Jackson are becoming good friends, and I watch what he does and what he was trained through his Amway stuff and what he does at the gym. And it's the exact same thing Andy did with me 19 years ago in this business. Was I had a hard time, I didn't have a hard time having a conversation with somebody once I met them, but my struggle was always walking up to them and meeting them. So if you don't ever do the first part, you never have a conversation, so you don't have to have a conversation. And that was always my out. And I just remember Andy telling me that I had to start meeting people. And my rule was, this is back in 2008, and gas prices in 2008 were like $4 or $5 a gallon. And I was running appointments in Tampa, Florida, which was about 3.5 hours from my house. So every time I had to get gas, I had to have a conversation with somebody else at a gas pump. And it wasn't necessarily at the time to sell them anything, to recruit anything. It was more for me to learn how to talkie is what Andy said to people. And I just remember like the things I went through, and the things that taught me is breaking the ice and learning to have conversations with people and getting out of my little shell, and my little feelings of being rejected and talking to people and just breaking that ice. And really that's catapulted so much in my business, this ability to talk to people and get out and do that. So with the Relentless 52, I kind of feel like it's the same thing for a lot of people, because I mean, we're in this chat we're in on the WhatsApp, the number of people that are having conversations with people, and some are a lot of victories, a lot of people that are interested in doing something else. But I mean, even just the people that say, hey, I talked to 5 people today and none of them wanted to do anything extra, it's them getting out of their shell and the growth they're just going to have in their life and their businesses just by getting out and doing that activity and talking to people. And I would say that's like number one thing that's changed my business and my life is ultimately that exercise Andy had me do 18 years ago and have to talk to people at gas stations. And I'm telling you, the first week when I had those conversations, it was like, I remember going back to Andy and being like, I'm going to the strangest gas stations in the world because I am meeting every weirdo in the world. And then he would be like, what are you saying to him? And I would tell him what I'd say. And I'd be like, if you came up to me at a gas station and said that, I'd be like, get the hell away from me. So you have to learn the things to do and the things to say. And you got to get really good and with complimenting them on a car, or compliment them on something they're wearing, or compliment. I mean, it's not just going up there and being like, trying to say, hey man, what's up? That's kind of weird at a gas station, especially when you're filling up gas at like 2 a.m. So you got to get good at knowing the things that you're going to do and how to compliment people and how to do stuff, and then creating the activity of doing it and getting out there and doing it. And this, the Relentless 52. And so if you're not part of it, I would highly recommend you getting in there. One is because it will grow your business, but 2, it's going to grow you as a person tremendously to really help you do it. And I'm not promoting this at all, but I've done this mental challenge before, and I know a bunch of the people have done it, and this is this thing, and you have to do it for so many days and you have to do these things, but there's a continued part of that mental challenge, and there's phases. And when you get to phase 3 in that challenge, and it's another super successful guy created this mental challenge, but in phase 3 you have to meet strangers every single day, and that guy too, just like Andy Albright. So 2 people that I know that give a lot of their success in their careers of the ability to network and talk to strangers and do that. And he says the same thing. He's like, when I used to go in grocery stores and just meet people and get good at conversating and having those things. And so the ability to do that is not only just you're going to get money from it for growing your business, but you're also going to get unbelievable growth in you as a person to going out there and doing it. So I just recommend not only just you doing it, but getting your agents to do it, get them part of the group. And just kind of how I work too. I just love, like when I was reading it this morning, Andy put a challenge out there, and I'll kind of talk about the challenge real quick here because we'll kind of go off that. But like for this weekend, Andy put out a challenge starting today, was to see who could go out there. The challenge today, let's do this weekend challenge starting right now. Who can get the most phone numbers, meet the most people this weekend? The contest ends at midnight Sunday night. Post them here. Let's kill it this weekend. Let's find the next Jeremiah Adaki and Brian Chang, going on and on and on. But who's going to find the next one? But who's going to get the most phone numbers starting right now till Sunday at midnight? And how I work is, if you give me a challenge, I'm going to go do it. If I don't have a challenge, it's hard to get me to do it just because I have to be shooting towards something. So that's the thing I like most about this is when he gave us a challenge of getting 5 on Wednesday. Now he's giving us a weekend challenge, going out there and actually making you do it and go for it. So definitely get part of it. Definitely get in there. If you don't know how to get in there, you can actually reach out to me directly. I'll help you get in there. I'm cool with that too. So if you're not sure, but let's get rolling, guys. We'll kind of go in the similar order this week today. So I'll kind of go by like business size. So Josh, you just replaced Terry. That's all I think kind of it does. You replace him on the call, not in life. So Jackson, I know you've been adding people, you've been going out there and doing a lot. I know Lauren sent me a picture of you prowling at the gym the other day. So talk about this. I know we did a lot of how-to on Wednesday and the ways to do it, but I know just the continued activity. And if you even want to talk about too, like from when you've started doing like cold contacting and stuff like that, I don't know. I've never asked you this, but it's like, were you always like that, or was it something that you've started at one point in your life and just grown into, and now and have you seen changes in you personally from doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, for me, like starting out was because I was in a similar business where it was built in a similar manner by networking with people. And so I know in my experience there, I had a lot of people in what we call our warm network, or people like I already had their phone number, and I was reaching out to them and speaking to them in the same way we kind of teach it here. And then it really started one day. I remember the first time I ever did it, I was standing in line at a coffee shop, and the guy in front of me was holding a book by, I can never say this guy's last name, but Jocko, the Navy SEAL. It's like Willink or something like that. I never say his last name right. But I remember him holding that book, and I remember that he had spoken at a conference that the business I was a part of had put on. So I just kind of struck up a conversation, and that was really the first time I had ever tried to meet a stranger. I don't want to say with the intention of business, but I mean, that was kind of my intention. So it was like, I'm like, hey, he's holding that book. Let me talk to him. So I remember striking up a conversation. In that moment, I don't think I was really nervous because I saw that book and I was like, oh, he spoke at our conference. Like, this is a very natural way for me to bring up business. And I remember having to find out ways to get more intentional. And I think that's when I became more nervous. So it was definitely something for me that I was very nervous about doing. But I think what really helped me overcome the nervous and being afraid was I always had the mindset that I'm building a company. Like when people ask me what I do now, I say I own an insurance agency. And that's, I'm not saying that in a way I want to recruit them, and I probably should say something different, but it's my identity is I own an insurance agency. I'm not an insurance agent. Yet, do I sell? Yes. But more than I sell, I care about building a team and an agency and a legacy, right? So like that's my identity. So my actions are going to align with my identity. And so like business owners have a business plan, and my plan is to have multiple outlets, multiple franchises. And I don't really care where those come from. Like I don't care if I meet them at the gym or if I find them on a social media or if they're my buddy I grew up with and went to high school with. Like I'm very indifferent on where my outlets come from, but I'm very clear on how many I want, what I want them doing, and the result that I want from that. So like I think for me it was switching from I'm in a business to I own a business. And I think that was the switch for me that helped me kind of overcome being a little bit nervous and timid. Because, if you've never done something before, it's scary. Like, regardless of, your personality type and your temperament, I'm more outgoing naturally, but it was still something I had to figure out and overcome. And I said a lot of weird stuff. I said a lot of stupid stuff. I said a lot of stuff. I said something last night at the gym. I walked away and thought, I probably shouldn't have said that. Now, I think he'll still do it, but I walked away and basically told him what he was doing was really stupid for a living. And I was like, I don't know if that was the people skills that Les Giblin teaches.
You were going to the same gas stations I went to early on. Yeah. I was flipping through while you're talking. I have the book Relentless in front of me, and this is in the beginning part, but it's Tim Grover, the guy that wrote it, was talking about. He says talking about this book, but I took it as talking about the Relentless 52 group. Is you don't have to play basketball like Michael Jordan to have his mindset or mental toughness to apply to whatever you do. You don't need to be Kobe Bryant's athletic skills to attract your dreams the way he attacks his. You don't have to overcome injury and impossible odds like Dwayne Wade to overcome whatever obstacles stand between you and your goals. You just need to share the relentless drive for the end result and let nothing stand in your way to achieve it. And that's what I kind of think. It's like, when I see you at the gym or doing the things that you send me, or when you post in the thing, it's that relentless drive. And it's okay that you say something stupid yesterday. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, and it's one thing Andy's always taught me. It's like, because people are always trying to figure out what's the right thing to say. And it's like, you can't tell the wrong person the right thing, and you can't tell the right person a wrong thing. So if he is a right person, even if you screw it up, he's still going to want to do it. Right. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's the numbers of getting through people and trying to find those right people. And you're going to go through wrong people at the same time, and that's the beauty of it. So it's like, it's almost impossible when you talk to a right person to screw it up. You know what I mean? And that's the great part of it. And if I could pick and choose and say that one's right, that one's wrong, I would be way richer and probably not even be on this call. I'd be on an island somewhere, but I don't have that skill. I don't think Andy has that skill. It's one of those skills where you just go out there and you just find a lot of people, and they'll identify themselves as they come aboard. So love it, man. All right, Sebastian, what do you think, bro? Kind of going over the relentless stuff. You did a great job on Wednesday, kind of how you're doing it and stuff. But what kind of things are you seeing inside of the Chambers organization, and kind of what you guys are doing, and changes that maybe even you're an outgoing guy too, at least ever since I've known you. So it's kind of like one of those things. For me, it was like life-changing, but like just kind of doing these kind of things.
Yeah, there was a time back in the Amway days it was tough because I was a very opinionated person. I had to learn how to be interested instead of being interesting. So that's more of how I maneuver and how I walk. Like what you're referring to on Friday, I posted in the group. So you remember Wednesday, the challenge was to meet 5 people by the end of the day. Well, I have 3 people that fill my calendar with appointments for me. So that's not a day that I'm not booked up all the way to 5:30, 6 o'clock. Well, I didn't finish Wednesday until 5:30 because I had an hour and a half that I was on the call. So I had to make up that hour and a half and get in front of people. And so that's when I do my sales during that time. And so it was 5:30. It was 5:30 p.m. Central Time. And I was tired. Andy, I did not want to go and do anything but eat and go to bed in that order. And I thought about you saying you were meeting with Andy on Wednesday evening and he told you to get 5 and you had to get 5. And I said, man, I need to make sure that I'm accountable to the team. I'm up here calling myself a leader, but I'm going to take a cop out because I'm sleepy. Sleep is overrated. Your body, when it's time to shut down, you'll go lay down and rest. So I said I was going to go out and just put myself in a position to meet people. Now, here's the part I didn't share. I went to 2 stores before I went to Walmart. And when I went to those 2 stores, I didn't talk to anybody. And I was trying to talk myself out of talking to people. So I said, let me see if it happens naturally. I went by the health food store and it was some people there and I just ignored them. Then I went to Sam's to get what I needed. And there was 2 people there that I could have easily got their numbers. And I just waved and nodded and walked out the store. And I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this today. And I got in the car to drive home and I said, this is not acceptable. I said, it's no way in the world I'm allowing myself to do this, because if I do this today, the next day it's going to happen. And then I'm going to justify that. I made a right turn and went back towards Walmart. And I went to the Walmart. And before I got out the truck, I said, take a deep breath. This is not about you, Sebastian. This is about the people that you're supposed to run into and maybe help. So I said to myself, this is me talking to me, because I talk to myself like that. And I say, self, huh? Are you listening? Yeah, I'm listening. So I said, I want you to go in that store. I want you to relax. Go and get what you need out of that store. And when you meet the first person that you can interact with, approach them. I got out the truck and I was still fighting it. So guess what happened? Somebody walked up to me and it just opened up the floodgate. And it was so funny because the person that walked up to me, been knowing him for years, never knew his name. Our daughters graduated high school together, and they both were honor students. So we were at a lot of functions together, and I always addressed him as brother. Hey, brother, how's it going? And he'd say the same, hey, man, how you doing? And we always just said that to each other. And I mean, this was since my daughter graduated in 2016. So I've been knowing this guy a long periodically time. And so we just talking, and he walked up to me and we got to talking. I say, man, listen, I said, I want to do something because I'm being very intentional today. I said, I told myself that if I came to Walmart tonight and ran into somebody that I see all the time and I don't know their name, I said, man, what is your name? He busted out laughing. He said, man, my name is Jeff. What is your name? He said, man, all these years, I don't think I ever knew your name. I said, same here, man. And we laughed about it and we exchanged numbers. And while we were standing there, another guy walks in that we both know. And he walks up to us and grabs us around the neck and we start laughing. So I snapped a picture with us all together. I said, man, this is a small world we live in. And so we all got to talking. And now here I am talking to somebody who I got to connect with. And then the other guy comes up and business comes up because he and his wife are already clients. Now he wants to do even more business. So that sparked another conversation that caused me to now have to have lunch with this guy. So for me, it's just getting out in the community, just connecting with people. And then, Jackson, I love what you said a second ago. I started using that about 4 years ago, that I own an agency. So when the conversation comes up, and the easy way to make it come up is always ask people, so man, what are you doing now? How are you taking care of your family? Are you working? Are you retired? I have yet to ask someone that question and they don't throw it back at me. So it's an easy way to guide the conversation. So people, like the second person that I ran into was this guy that just moved from Minnesota. I'm in the water aisle getting water. And this guy says, he walks up and I use this tactic. I said, man, I know you from somewhere. You look very familiar. And he said, you look kind of familiar too. He said, no, I'm new here. I just been here about a week. I said, okay. I said, well, what do you do, man? What are you doing in here? He said, well, I'm a spark driver. I'm doing groceries. I just moved here from Minnesota because it's too cold up there. It's warmer here. And I got a friend here that told me I could come try it out. He said, but what I really do is I'm a bookkeeper. I said, no joke. He said, yeah. I say, brother, I've been looking for a bookkeeper because I need to make some changes. So we got to talking and I said, listen, man, I own an insurance agency here and I have a lot of agents. I said, but I'm trying to minimize some of my costs this year. And I think you could probably help me with that. He said, I sure can. I said, let's exchange numbers. I said, I'm going to take a picture with you. I don't want you to feel like it's weird. I said, but I'm going to save your picture so that when you call me, I know who it is, because I get so many calls. I don't like answering my phone all the time. And we laughed about that, took the picture, and I got his information. So for me, just going out in the community, being intentional, doing something to spark the conversation. And you know what? Sometimes it don't work, because there was a lady that I tried to talk to in Sam's and it didn't go well. You know, she looked at me kind of crazy, like maybe I was trying to hit on her or something. And I was just saying hi, really just, trying to make my contacts. And that almost discouraged me. But again, everybody's not going to be responsive. So what you're doing is playing the numbers, talking to enough people to get the responses you need. So had I needed to talk to 10 people to get my 5, then I would have did it. And I ended up getting 6 contacts, Andy, because the last one just kind of happened naturally. I was up at the front of the store getting ready to check out, and we ran into each other, and I knew the guy, and I got the information because I hadn't seen him in a while. So pretty cool.
And it's the crazy thing, Sebastian, is it's like Andy's been telling us for years to do this stuff and go meet with people and we'll get rich. But once he puts a contest out there, you stay up a little past your bedtime and sit and go do it. You know what I mean? And it's like that. And it's like that challenge thing I was telling you about with that, like I did, where you had to go meet people. I would have the excuse I'm in the office all day. I didn't meet anyone new, but I would go to Publix late at night and just because I had to get that little check mark every single day that I did it. And I did it for a check mark, but to get rich, it's like, why aren't we doing it? You know what I mean? So it's like these little games and these little challenges that Andy puts out there are important because it makes you do things you won't normally do. Because if you were doing them anyways, you'd be so far, everyone would be so farther along, and it's these little challenges. That's why I guess I challenge everyone to be part of the group, because if you get in the group, it's going to lead you to do things you wouldn't normally do, get you out of your comfort zone and push you to do it. You don't know what it's going to be. It's the get 5 on Wednesday. It's the who's going to get the most this weekend. And even if you don't get the most this weekend, it's going to push you to get more than you would have if you didn't try. So, and those are the little games of the Relentless 52 that's exploding this business, and the number of people. Preston Stockwell, who does the numbers for Andy at the corporate office, Andy reposted a thing that he sent him, the number of people that had fast tracked that most people ever, like, direct to them that have never done it before. And it was crazy. It's like it is changing the game. And it's like if you're not part of the Relentless 52, you need to get part of it. You're going to get left behind. And we don't want you to. We want you to be part of it. We want you to be part of it and do it. So going out there. All right, my man Josh, new to the call. You weren't with us Wednesday, but you're one of those guys that I mean, I picked none of you guys are like me. I was like the shy guy that didn't like going up there. All of you guys are outgoing. Like you run circles around me in this stuff.
Well, Riddle, for one, thank you so much for allowing me to be on the call on today. Andy and Jane Albright. Thank you to Jason, Olga, and the Dream Teams, Tia and Terry Edwards. And my wife, of course. Happy birthday, Alexis. But I think for me, this has been amazing. Because normally my wife is the one who is doing the recruiting, and I recruit here and there. But since we've had Relentless 52, it's changed my perception to like, yeah, she's using the agent list, but I can match her. I can do just as much as she can just by going out and being able to just speak to people, leads that the Lord brings my way every day. So it's been really amazing. I don't really meet a stranger. I'm always the one saying, Alexis, I'm about to go talk to him. Alexis, I'm about to go talk to her. If I want her to do it, I'll say, hey, 3 foot, right? But like Sebastian, there's times where, I've gotten a little nervous too. Like, man, do I feel like doing it today? They probably ain't gonna hear me out today. Right. And it's been a few of those times to where I kick myself in the head when I leave, like, dang, like I just wonder what could have happened. But that motivates me the next time I go out. So it's been amazing. Restaurants is real big for us. It's not a restaurant we're going to sit down at and have a good server and not somehow introduce this opportunity. What I like to do is after we've been waited on and it's about time to go, if we've had a great server, I say, man, I know I've been seeing you run around. I know they're paying you the big bucks, right? And 9 times out of 10, they're not. Right. So what I do, like Sebastian and Jackson, I say, hey, look, I own my wife and I, we own a full financial service practice. And we're actually looking for people who are wanting just to create some additional income for themselves. And, sometimes that works. Most times that does work. We'll at least get their number. Lately, what I've been noticing is not to try to, less is more. So not to try to talk so much about the business, but just build the relationship. And then I see Andy Albright, he puts that in the Relentless 52 when he sees certain things. Hey, don't overdo it, build the relationship. And then we can, the other things will come later. So it's been amazing for me. Because I don't think I've talked to this many people this much in this short amount of time about this opportunity. So, yeah, it's got me fired up. On one instance, I have some basketball sneakers, and they're purple and lime green. And I was out the other day, the LaMelo balls, and this guy says, I'm at the gas station pumping, and he was like, man, those are some cool sneaks. And I said, yeah, man. I said, I appreciate it. He said, it goes nice with your fit. And it was really cold outside, so I was actually about to try to get back in the car while my gas pump. But he was talking to me, and I was like, man, he said, what do you do for a living? And I said, man, my wife and I, we own a full financial service practice. So we pretty much sell pom-poms, right? And Andy Albright taught us that pom is plenty of money and peace of mind, right? And he thought that was funny. He was like, pom-poms? That's crazy. I said, yeah, man, plenty of money and peace of mind. That's what we sell. And he was like, well, how do you do it? I said, man, look, I just got done pumping, but look, give me your phone real quick. And so I took his phone, put my number in it, and I called it. And I said, man, let me give you a call on Monday. So we'll actually meet on Monday and talk a little bit. But yeah, like I think Jackson said yesterday, or I'm sorry, Wednesday. If you see somebody wearing something, wherever you're at, like, mention it. Fortunately, he mentioned it to me. But anything you see is a conversational piece. So, thank you, Riddle.
I thought Jackson was pumping gas next to you when you were telling that story, man. The shoes thing's his move. That's his go-to move. Those are some nice shoes there. When his wife sent me the picture the other day of him talking to someone at a gym, I was like, yeah, he does have nice shoes on. That was my answer. So, Josh, I was reading something this morning that says nobody fails because they aren't capable. They fail because they quit. They get tired of losing, tired of feeling behind, tired of looking stupid, so they walk away. Oftentimes, right before things start to turn, you don't need to be smart. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to be rarely gifted. You just need to stay in the game longer than anybody else. Everyone loses. Every loss is teaching you something. Every setback sharpens your judgment. Every failure attempts to build the strengths and skills you'll need for an opportunity that finally shows up. And it will show up, but only for those who are willing to stand the pressure of struggle of right now. It's worth all the times, 1,000%. If you quit, it will all be for waste. All the pain, all the lessons, all the growth. Stay in the game. The people who win aren't special. They just refuse to quit, and nobody else did. And it's with the Relentless 52, it's all the conversations that you have. It's the guy at the gas pump. Will he do something? Will he not? Who knows? It will be determined what happens, but it's the ones that continue to do this for 52 weeks. It's a year, but stay in the game and keep doing it. They don't go out 1 week, 2 weeks and be like, I haven't found the person yet. You're developing the skills to, when you find that person, you're ready. And it's developing those tasks to do it. And it's just continuously doing it and figuring out the way not to stop doing it. Where Sebastian wanted to go to bed and he didn't. Where you wanted to get in the car because it was cold I mean, you had a pretty easy opportunity. The guy kind of approached you, but you still wanted, like, your naturalness, even though you're outgoing, you wanted it. It's like, it's cold, I'm going to get in the car, but you didn't. And it's changed in the things that you do to stay in the game and continue to do it regardless of what your natural reaction wants to do. And doing that for 52 weeks and being relentless about it and continue to do it. Those are the ones that are going to win. Those are the people that are going to win in the relentless 52. I was just looking at like the people that got in the car because it was too cold out, or went to bed, Sebastian, because they were too tired. Or heck, Jackson works out. I worked out with him when I was there in Greenville. Josh, he works out early in the morning. I'm not an early worker outer, and I'm like, there's got to be days that when he gets up that early and goes and works out, he don't feel like talking to somebody. He just wants to get his workout done. You know what I mean? And it's overcoming those things and doing it and being relentless about it week in and week out and continue to do it. So if you have to give yourself a little check mark to do it, do it. You know, but it's continuous to do it, to playing the game to be success and staying in the game and not quitting, not stopping just because it didn't work today. You know what I mean? I didn't find my superstar today. I talked to 4 people and I didn't find a superstar yet. Okay. Talk to 4 more. Keep it going. 52 weeks. Keep going hard. Back to you, Jackson. Jackson. Kind of, have you had any of your guys that are coming aboard kind of jumping in, kind of wanting to be part of it, seeing success, learning to overcome their fears of things they're doing?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, well, a lot of my team is still pretty new, so we're still doing a lot on their warm market. And so that's really been where a lot of my team is still at. But over half of my team has some form of network marketing experience as well. So we're kind of still working those lists right now. But Kyle, who you've met, and he's an awesome guy. He's a penguin or an otter or whatever, you know what I mean? So he's just like, he's all over the place, always talking to people, and he's made a couple great connections.
That's cool. Are they I know we added like Andres today. Are you adding your guys and stuff into the chat and getting them involved in the fun games that we're putting out there?
Yes, absolutely.
Who's like your most competitive guy?
I don't know if you've met Hanan yet. He's probably the one. He's bringing a downline to Dallas with him. He's got his flight, getting his downline. I think he's currently beating that guy over the head with a stick, trying to get him to get his plane ticket right now. Like he's relentless. He's a fighter.
Who's your second most competitive?
Andres. Yeah.
So we need to get Andres to beat Hanan.
Yeah, we're gonna put him up.
Andres. Yeah, I know you're on here, my man, because I know he's in the chat because we did it today. But it's like we got to get him beating Hanan.
Yeah. And
I'm not rooting against Hanan, but I just like stirring the pot. You know what I mean? It's like people have told me I'm good at it, stirring the pot. I don't know. I just, it's just fun. Sebastian, and your team, you got any people jumping in wanting to stir it up?
Got several people. So I don't know. I'm like you, and I'm a pot stirrer. I can stir a pot real good. And so, but I have a couple of people that had joined us back in the summertime. Real good. They're good friends, and I didn't know we all knew each other. So they came to the business at the same time. But we got this one couple, Cedric and Danielle Graham. They're pretty good at recruiting and getting people around us. But then we have this lady. Her name is Kamisha Anderson, and she's really good. And we all know each other, and so they compete. And I'm about to get all of them added today to the Relentless chat. But so this is how competitive they are. Kamisha says, "Tell the Grahams I'm a graham cracker." So she's going to take them out. And so and then we have Dr. Shanika Berryman. She has a doctorate in business. Okay. So my good friend that got me started in Medicare, his name is Aaron Young. His wife's name, Gayla. So they met for the first time this past Saturday. So I told Shanika to introduce herself as the top leg in our organization that brings on the most people. So now we got that rivalry going. So we got Aaron. So we got them paired up, and then we have this my college buddy that I hired, the one that I told y'all about on Wednesday. He and his wife, they already have 4 people that they've brought to their organization, and so they're getting ready to get cranked up. They're actually taking their test, I think, next week to get their license, but they are ready to go. They've got their whole business structured out. Like they've written it out, who they talking to, and they got me really excited. And then I got Jacqueline Doss. Jacqueline Doss is out of Dallas and the Dallas DFW area, and Ebony Jones. Ebony Jones, she's fired up. She said she's ready to go full time and get this thing going. But all those people have been real good about getting people around us, but they're good about meeting people. So just really excited about that whole crew and what they're getting ready to do. And that's the people that I talk to the most. So I know when people are really busy and they're active, they're like getting people around us all the time. So just real excited about that.
Sebastian, Mia just texted me, Mia Fennell, and she just said none of the people on your team's going to beat her at this, just so you know.
Oh, that's Mia. Mia likes to have fun. It's okay. I don't have a problem. I mean, I don't know. It's like when you thought about people that bring people, really, you asked me to be on the call, and Mia's not here. I mean, I don't know if that's trash talk or not, but I can see Mia right now. No, he didn't. I might get a phone call right after this.
So
that's how you stir a pot, Andy. That's how you stir.
Yeah. Yeah. So Josh, I mean, I know Trey, he's not competitive, and he probably doesn't want to get in Relentless 52 and go after it, but maybe one of the other Treys will. What do you think?
Hey man, like you actually read, I must have sent you the text message. I told Trey that today. I said, you don't really want this, do you? I said, are you? It's crazy because, and Trey's okay with me saying this, but I was reaching out to certain people and just talking to them about Relentless 52, and then I said, Trey, I think I'm gonna add you to that. He said, I'm already in. I said, what? I said, no, you're not. I said, I'm scrolling. I don't see nothing you posted, right? So I think that lit up a fire in him as well. So yeah, I have a couple people, man, that's really been taking it serious. Terry put on a 3-foot rule competition or contest a month ago, and one of Trey's agents actually won. Her name is Whitley. And she works a part-time job, and she's always talking to people at her job. And she's bringing them to us, and we're talking to them and things like that. So she's really excited. We're getting her added to the group. Aaron Penley, man, he went to AIT. And ever since then, he's been fired up. His background, he was a funeral home director. And now he's getting out of his comfort zone to recruit people. And he's posted in Relentless a few times. So really proud of them. I need to stir up a contest though, man. I gotta get some people that say that they gonna beat the other person and mean it. So. While Sebastian and me are wrestling it out, I'll be wrestling with my team to get us up there.
One of the things that's really important is making sure when you're growing a team and you have people in it, inspecting that they're actually participating in it. And I love how you did it with Trey. Like you could have just gone in there and saw like the participants in it and saw his name in there. But that just because they're in it doesn't mean they're doing it. You know what I mean? The scrolling part, I like that. I'm going to use that one. So. I was like, I don't see you posting anything in here.
Yeah, so now the whole alliance heard that, Trey. So we're gonna see how you react.
I know I'm gonna beat Trey. I'm not worried about beating him.
Hey, then we got they haven't been added yet, but one of the couples that I posted Steven in Relentless, and I met him And then he said, "Oh my God, me and my wife have been looking for this," right? Or something like this, right? So him and his wife, Alondra, they got in, and we had posted, I think either on our business page or in the Dream Team. We posted somewhere to welcome them to our team, and then they reposted on their social media and had all type of people like, "Yo, Gil, tell me about this. Tell me about this." So Steven, he's like, "Josh, okay, now look, so let's talk about what we're supposed to say." And so he was really fired up as well. Same with one of the Aaron Panley's, one of his relentless 52 candidates. Her name is Libby, and she, as soon as Aaron told her, she said, "Oh man, I already got somebody that I'm about to talk to about it. His name is Todd." And she got me on the phone with Todd, like just like that. So I think that this contest is really provoking people, but I think it's more so because sometimes I see more messages here than the AM group chat at times. And I think so many people are just so fired up right now about this and building, and that's the only focus. Like, Andy's not playing no games. Don't post nothing else if it don't got nothing to do with Relentless 52 and the 3-foot rule. And I think it's keeping people so focused, and the people who may not have been motivated in the beginning, it has to provoke you to be motivated to get in and share this opportunity, whether it's for bragging rights or whether it's because you want to build a team and make a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So this has just been amazing for my team and myself.
It just makes no sense. But I think it's just human nature. It's like, it makes no sense. Like, we have to have this kind of stuff to motivate us instead of just doing it to be successful. It's like, but it works. You know what I mean? And it's the tricking things to do to make you successful. And it's how can I trick myself into doing the stuff to make successful? It's like, I honestly don't think I think without Relentless 52, you get back in the car because it's too cold. And I honestly think without Relentless 52, Sebastian goes to bed. You know what I mean? But it's like these little things that change the actions that you do, which will ultimately change your life down the road as long as you continue to do them. And it's the continuous activity of doing it. I just challenge everyone to get into it. Like, I've had a couple people text me while we've been on this, say, "Hey, can you add me? Can you add me?" And it's like, yeah, let's add them. But I'm also stirring the pot with them too. I was like, "You don't want in this. You can't handle this. You can't beat Sebastian." You know what I mean? It's that little motivation that keeps you in that cold for 10 seconds longer, Josh. You know what I mean? So, we got a few minutes left, but kind of we'll go back through the order, but kind of to wrap up each one of you, kind of like what it means to you to do this, and kind of like the community in that Relentless 52 and continue to go out there. I just like being in groups of people fighting for the same type thing. You know what I mean? Regardless, I'm always rooting for the guys on our team, but it's also like, I like the Leventovich team. We need them doing it too. And all the other teams out there. It's just like, it's that community of doing. When you do stuff with other people, it's not as scary. You know what I mean? And it's like, it almost like when you get rejected, like it hurts when you're by yourself, but when you're in a group of like 400 people in this chat, it's almost like comical. It's like, you had that happen too. It's kind of like, because you're within the community and it's happening, it's happening to everyone. And it's going out there and it's getting through those people, but kind of, Jackson will go through the same order, but kind of to give them some end notes of this stuff and kind of what you see for your team and your group as we continue to do this for 52 weeks and continue to be relentless for 52 weeks and really changing the trajectory of your business and everyone else's business as we go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, like, one of the things I'm talking to myself about, and to a lot of guys on my team who are taking this seriously, is like the self-talking, like kind of our mental language with ourself. I read a book by a guy named Trevor Mawawi, It Takes What It Takes, and he talks about like, you are always talking to yourself. And if you just thought, "No, I don't," you just talked to yourself. You know what I mean? So like for me, I remember like, I don't like walking up to a stranger, or I'll say it a different way. I used to really not like walking up to strangers. And then I started to tell myself, I am really good at striking up conversations. and I'm really good at getting people's information and getting them interested in my opportunity. And I had to like say that to myself mentally and even sometimes out loud, because it just got me. Like, I remember talking to somebody one time, and we were talking about the 3-foot rule, and he told me, he's like, yeah, I don't do that. And I was thinking, like, I think I even said this. I was like, so like, let's say you went to the doctor and he's like, if you don't take this medication, you're not going to live. And then you're like, well, I don't take that right now. You know, so it's like if you're not doing it right now, that's not a problem. But like, it's clear that that's where the sharpest people are going to come from. I'm all for using like lists and ZipRecruiter and all this stuff. But like, one of the guys I got lunch with recently, and he's very interested in the opportunity, played D1 college football. He played in the NFL. He's an executive over a senior living facility, making multi 6 figures a year. He ain't on ZipRecruiter. You know what I mean? Like, he's not on the licensed agents list. It was just striking up a conversation, making a friend. And, you know, my mindset with the Relentless 52, it's just so good at getting, if you tune into it, like, being in the WhatsApp really won't do anything for you unless you're paying attention to it. Right. And so for me, it's getting me to take action. And one of the truths for me is sometimes something is better than nothing. Like Wednesday, and Albright put out, go meet 5 people and get their name and number. I had multiple conversations, but I ended that day with 2. And like, Riddle, you're my upline, so maybe you'll be like, should have got 5, but I wouldn't have got 2. And something's better than, 2's better than 0. Right. So that's just really my mindset with this. It's really good if you tune in and you take it seriously. It's going to get you taking action. Whether you meet 40 people a week or 8 people a week, it's getting you doing more than whatever you're doing now. So if you're used to meeting 0, maybe 10 per week is like, just blows your mind, but maybe you can do 7 per week or 5 per week and then ramp up to that 10, 15, 25 per week.
Yeah. And I was just thinking while you were talking about it, it's like everyone on this call has come through 3-foot rule. Now, it could be where I met the guy that introduced me to Jason and Olga Mathis was a 3-foot rule. Now, Jerry and Cassie were an ad. They weren't a 3-foot rule, but through finding you, Jackson, there's a 3-foot rule in there. You know what I mean? And that's the cool thing. It's like, it's there, and it's all through 3-foot rule with everyone. And I think even Josh and Sebastian, after my initial 3-foot rule, was another couple 3-foot rules in there leading to them in there. So it's levels of the 3-foot rule. And it's crazy when I look at my business, how much the 3-foot, it's like, why didn't I do this more? I mean, I'm glad we're doing it now. It's better than not doing it, but it's like so much of it's happened that way through the business that we do. So Sebastian, what do you think, bro?
Hey, quick wrap up. Andy, Jane, Angela, Andy, Jason, Olga, Terry, Tia, love you guys. Dream team for life. Hey, listen, and my wife LaQuinta, of course. But be the example. This is the nugget I would give. And what I mean by that is look at Andy and Jane Albright and where are their children right now? Most people can kind of identify how you are when they look at what happens in your household. At my office, we have employees. I got an employee right now, actually LaQuinta's stepsister. Her name is Amanda Stokes, another person who I didn't mention earlier. She's fired up. Writing, she's an employee of ours, but she's doing everything. She's the full package. She has a team that she's developing. She hired a lady 2 days ago that got signed up for classes, studying, going to take her test next week. So what I'm trying to do is be the example. So what they're doing is they're seeing what I'm doing. The people that I named, every last one of those people, I talk to them at least 3-4 times a week, and they're asking me, what do I do next? What do I do next? Well, I can tell them what I did. So I'm not giving them theoretical stuff to go out and do. So be the example. This Relentless 52 is holding me accountable to being what I need to be, not what I want to be. sometimes what we want to be don't cut it. We got to be what we need to be. And so there's a family out there right now crying and praying this morning for this opportunity that I have. This opportunity can answer that for them. Now, I'm not saying this answers it for everyone, but there is somebody right now praying and saying, God, send me something. And if I don't open my mouth today, I might not be able to answer that prayer. Now, somebody else may come along and do it, but why not me? Why not I be the person that do it? And just by opening my mouth. So I would say the nugget today, be the example. We're not putting on these calls to show out. We're putting on these calls to help encourage the next person make the next move. Okay.
Awesome, man. Josh, what you got to wrap up with, bro?
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you. This has been amazing today. Just getting all this value on this call, man. And I think people should just understand, this is a very simple thing to do. It's not aggressive. It's not just sharing the opportunity, it's really to build the relationship. It's to network, to get to know people. You don't have to know the ins and outs of what we do. You don't have to know the right words to say. You just need to be willing to get to know people. People feel like they may fail because they're just trying to sell an opportunity. But winning is you talking to people. Winning is not you giving up. Winning is connecting. So I would say don't pass by anyone. It could be the waiter, the cashier, your high school friend, your college friend, the man at the gas station, the man at the gym, an old friend, the person that you see walking on your jog that you have every morning. Connect with them, network with them, and build a relationship.
Yeah, and I like where you say it's not like, I think you used aggressive when you go into the conversation, but I do think it's aggressive of being relentless to talk to people, like the aggressiveness of doing the action, but not the conversation, but it's just the action of doing it. And guys, it's one of those things. I challenge you to do it for 52 weeks and be relentless for 52 weeks and see where you're at a year from today. By just changing these little simple things that you're currently doing anyways, being out and about and running into people on a daily basis and just talking to them, slowing down to speed up, spending that extra, like Josh did at the gas pump, that extra 2 minutes, in the cold, and then instead of getting in his car and doing it, and continue to do that stuff for a year and see where you're at. Just by doing that for 52 weeks, it's going to change your business. It's going to change your life. It's going to put you in a trajectory that you don't even understand, and you'll grow faster than you ever believe. When I had dinner with Andy the other night, he was talking about the biggest mistake he's made through the Alliance was not talking about this more, being relentless about this faster. But the great thing is he's relentless about it now. And everything I know about Andy is when he gets into something, and it's I don't need to understand it. I've fought it for years. It's like, why is he doing this or why is he doing that? But it's like when you just adapt and do it, it changes your business and your life very quickly. So I, again, challenge you to be part of the Relentless 52, challenge you to just adapt. You don't need to understand it. You just try it. Just do it for 52 weeks. Don't do it for 1 week. Do it for 52 weeks and see where you're at. And I promise you, 52 weeks from now, you'll be in a much better, much different situation in this business. Guys, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys all in Dallas, Texas in a few weeks. Can't wait to get there. And again, try to win those contests. Try to a few days left on the Integrity Club contest. So try to win those. I promise you, if you go to the Integrity Club, you will not be disappointed. And we'll see you guys all in Dallas with your cowboy hats on. See you there.